Khazkat Abbatim Daf Nun Beis, sponsored the Refuah Shlema for Yehuda Yitzchak ben Iris. The Gemara continues discussing the status of a married woman's money. One should not accept a deposit from a married woman because it may be stolen. However, if one did, he returns it to her, not to her husband, unless she died, because it is either his money or his inheritance. The same applies to a slave and a child. A slave may be given a gift on condition his master has no rights to it, or a child may have found money. It may not be stolen. Therefore, the custodian returns the money to the slave and invests the child's money, purchasing a Sefer Torah or a palm tree so he does not squander it. There's a disagreement between Rav and the Brisa how to determine whether the wife is lying. Number one, the Brisa states if the custodian senses her claim is not credible, he returns it to the victim. If not, he returns it to her depositor. Number two, according to Rav, it is based on the financial standing of the alleged depositors. If they could afford the items deposited with the wife, they are returned to them. Otherwise, they are returned to the husband. The Mishnah states a father and son cannot establish a chazaka against one another. The Gemara brings a machlokas concerning the parameters of this ruling. Rabbi Yosef holds this ruling applies even if the son is financially independent. Rava holds this ruling is limited to the son's dependency on the father. The halacha follows Rava. It applies to a divorcee as well. She can establish a chazaka on her ex-husband's property. The Gemara discusses establishing title for a brother handling a father's estate. He claimed purchases and loans made in his name came from an inheritance bequeathed to him by his maternal grandfather. His paternal brothers dispute his claim. Rav holds the burden of proof is on the managing brother because he has no apparent alternative source of income. The court disregards the fact that only his name appears on those documents. Gemara later states this ruling applies even to the widow managing her late husband's estate. Even though it is a great honor, she may rationalize that her efforts entitle her to embezzle. Shmuel holds the burden of proof is on the other brothers. His lone signature on those documents stands as proof the money used was his. However, he claims, even according to Rav, if the brother dies, the burden of proof shifts to the other brothers. The court does not expect the orphans to be familiar with their father's transactions. The Gemara cannot reconcile Shmuel with the teaching of Rava. Rava returned items sometimes borrowed or rented, such as scissors and a book of Agadita, from orphans to their original owners, not claiming their father purchased them, unsubstantiated even during his lifetime. Similarly, Rav held the burden of proof is on the managing brother during his lifetime. The court would not claim, unsubstantiated, his signature on the documents prove his personal money was used after his demise. Rav Chisda limits Rav's ruling. If all expenses of the brothers were paid from the estate, no one receiving an allowance even for food expenses, the managing brother must prove he has an independent source of income. However, if each brother receives a personal food allowance, the managing brother can claim he skimped on food to invest. The Gemara discusses the type of proof a managing brother requires. Rabbah holds witnesses that testify to an independent source of income, whereas Rav Sheshis requires only document certification of the court. The Gemara discusses the last ruling of the Mishnah. V'nosei matana v'achim shecholku v'machzik b'nichsei hager no'al v'godar u'paratz harezu chazaka. One who gave property as a gift, brothers who divided their inheritance, and one acquiring the property of a convert, once locked, fenced, or breached, is a chazaka. The Mishnah teaches these cases require only a minimal act of acquisition, not 3 years, because their claims are not challenged. If the seller is present, the buyer acquires even without a willingness to transfer, whereas not present, he must declare to the purchaser, Le Chazek V'Kaneh. If you're enjoying Daf and 5, please click on the link below, subscribe, and become a sponsor. Thank you.